Good morning or good afternoon, football fans. Big Al here on this Tuesday, October 29th, 2024, and welcome back to the Week 10 college football television schedule, as we'll be taking a look at every game going on this weekend in college football and the announcers for each one. Alright, so we have 3 games to start the week tonight. Then you'll have 2 games tomorrow, 2 more on Thursday, and 4 on Friday before we get to the full schedule on Saturday. And so with that, let's jump into the Week 10 college football television schedule and the announcers for every game. Before I begin, if you want to take a look at this information for yourself, just log on to www.506sports.com, click the college football tab in the homepage, and then click Week 10, and that information is right there. Plus, all the announcers from every game from the previous weeks this season is also up at 506sports.com. I will leave a link to the website in the description below, so stay tuned. Alright, now we can get into the Week 10 college football schedule, beginning with the 3 games starting off tonight. The first game is at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on CBS Sports Network. New Mexico State at Florida International with Dave Ryan and Dante Whitner. At 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ESPN2 is Louisiana at Texas State with Jay Alter and Rocky Boyman. And at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on ESPNU, Louisiana Tech at Sam Houston, Mike Corey and Renee Igogila. Moving to Wednesday, October 30th, at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific on CBS Sports Network, you've got Jacksonville State at Liberty, Carter Blackburn and Luke Kuechly. And on ESPN2 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific is Kennesaw State at Western Kentucky with Clay Matvick and Steve Adazio. On Halloween, Thursday night, October 31st, both games start at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific. ESPN has Tulane at Charlotte with Matt Berry and Dan Mullen. ESPN2 has NC Central at South Carolina State with Tiffany Green and Jay Walker. Then on Friday night, November 1st, at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on ESPNU, Yale at Columbia, Eric Freedy and Jack Ford. At the same time on CBS Sports Network, it's Georgia State at Connecticut, and there is no broadcast team announced for that game. On ESPN2 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, is South Florida at Florida Atlantic with Anish Sharaf and Andre Ware. And on FS1 at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, is San Diego State at number 15 Boise State, Trent Rush and Petros Papadakis. Now to Saturday. You'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games starting at 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. ABC has Duke at number 5 Miami, Joe Tessitore and Jesse Palmer. On CBS, it's Air Force at number 21 Army with Rich Waltz and Ross Tucker. On Fox's Big Noon Saturday is perhaps the game of the week. Number 4 Ohio State at number 3 Penn State with Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt. ESPN has number 19 Ole Miss at Arkansas with Mark Jones and Roddy Jones. ESPN2 has Memphis at UTSA with Roy Philpott and Sam Acho. On FS1, it's Minnesota at number 24 Illinois Tim Brando and Devin Gardner. On ESPNU is Toledo at Eastern Michigan. Matt Schumacher and Dustin Fox. On the CW, it's Virginia Tech at Syracuse. Tom Brenneman and Max Brown. On BTN, it's Northwestern at Purdue with Jason Ross Jr. and Anthony Herron. On the ACC network, it's Stanford at NC State with George Sedano and Orlando Franklin. And then the last of the 11 games at 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific is on CBS Sports Network. Buffalo at Akron, and there is no broadcast team announced for that game. Shortly thereafter at 12:45 p.m. Eastern, 9:45 a.m. Pacific on the SEC Network is Vanderbilt at Auburn. Taylor Zarzour and Matt Stinchcomb. On SEC Network Plus and streaming on ESPN Plus at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific, you've got Maine at Oklahoma with Brian Custer and Rod Gilmore. And then you'll have two games on ESPN Plus rounding out the early afternoon schedule, including Old Dominion at Appalachian State, in which there is no broadcast team announced, and Tulane at UAB with Courtney Lyle and Leger Duzable. Now to the late afternoon portion of the schedule, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games starting at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Pacific. On ABC, you've got Florida and number 2 Georgia. This game is being played at Everbank Field in Jacksonville with Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit. On the Home Depot Big Ten on CBS, number 1 Oregon at Michigan, Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson. On Fox, you've got number 17 Kansas State at Houston, Jason Benetti and Brock Huard. ESPN has Texas Tech at number 12 Iowa State with Dave Pasch and Dusty Dvorak. On FS1, Arizona at UCF, Dan Hellie and Robert Smith. On BTN, you've got UCLA at Nebraska, Guy Haberman and Yogi Roth. On the ACC network, North Carolina at Florida State, Chris Cotter and Mark Herzlich. On CBS Sports Network, it's Middle Tennessee at UTEP, Alex Del Barrio and Adam Brenneman. Streaming exclusively on Peacock at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Pacific is number 13 Indiana at Michigan State with Paul Burmeister and Colt McCoy. And streaming exclusively on ESPN Plus at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Pacific, Louisiana Monroe at Marshall. And there is no broadcast team announced for that game. At 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, you'll have 3 games. On ESPN2, you'll have Navy at Rice with Mike Monaco and Kirk Morrison. True TV has Wyoming at New Mexico with Ari Wolf and Darius Walker. And streaming on ESPN Plus is Coastal Carolina at Troy. There is no broadcast team announced for that game. And after that, at 4:15 p.m. Eastern, 1:15 p.m. Pacific, on the SEC network, you've got Massachusetts at Mississippi State with Dave Neal and Aaron Murray. Now we're off to the evening portion of the schedule. You've got 2 games starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. On FS1, it's Arizona State at Oklahoma State, Connor Onion and Mark Helfrich. Also at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on Hawaii pay-per-view, Team One Sports, and locally on KGPE Channel 47 in Fresno is Hawaii at Fresno State, and there is no broadcast team announced for that game. And then you're going to have 6 games starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific. On ABC's Saturday Night Football, it's number 10 Texas A&M at South Carolina. Sean McDonough and Greg McElroy. On Big Ten Saturday night on NBC, Wisconsin at Iowa. Noah Eagle and Todd Blackledge. On ESPN, it's Louisville at number 11 Clemson. Bob Wischusen and Louis Riddick. On ESPNU, Georgia Southern at South Alabama. Lo Galindo and Fozzie Whitaker. On the SEC Network, it's Kentucky at number 7 Tennessee. Tom Hart and Jordan Rogers. On BTN, you've got USC at Washington. Jeff Levering and Jake Butt. And then the final 3 games of the night will begin at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. ESPN2 has TCU at Baylor with Mike Cousins and Brock Osweiler. The ACC Network has number 18 Pittsburgh at number 20 SMU with Wes Durham and Tom Luginbill. And CBS Sports Network has Colorado State at Nevada with Chris Lewis and Robert Turbin. And that is the Week 10 college football television schedule and the announcers for every game this week. Alright, I'm taking the day off tomorrow, but I will be back on Thursday with my Week 9 NFL picks, both straight up and against the spread. Plus, the Thursday Night Football injury report ahead of the Texans and the Jets. So join me Thursday for that. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell and get notified every time I go live. Big Al signing off. Thanks for watching and enjoy the pigskin. Peace out.